What's up guys, it's Kaisan again and welcome back to another episode of our Path of Exile tutorial. As usual, the first thing that we'll do in this episode is we'll look at some of the rare items that we found in the last episode and we'll analyze them in terms of good and bad stats on them. So let's start with the first one here. An iron staff with +1 to level of socketed gems. That's usually good for a spellcaster. The intelligence and mana regen on the item are also somewhat good for a spellcaster, but it misses the two most important attributes. There's no spell damage on it, and it has no cast speed. So this item is kind of in between melee and caster. It can't really decide where it's going. There are some melee gems that you could use that would benefit from the +1 to lightning, like lightning strike, for example. But then there's not really damage, like melee damage on the weapon. There's 2 to 50 lightning damage, which is a pretty nice roll, but nothing on top of that. So it's not good for either or. So that's why we will definitely sell this item. Here we have a quiver with fire damage, critical strike multiplier, life, and lightning resist on it. The problem here is that pretty much all of the rolls are really low, and that's why this item is just good for the vendor as well. If it had high rolls on all of them, yeah, you could consider it as an item that a bow user, would want to have. Maybe a second resist would be nice on it, but as it is with all those low rolls, it's just not good. Then we have this robe, and here we have life, mana, and 2 decent resists. We can disregard the 1 reflect. It's not really doing anything. But this item is actually quite nice. As I said, it's really important to have life and resistances on your items, especially when you're leveling. Or especially if you're playing hardcore, because that's most of the defense that you need to survive. So here, if we compare it to the one that we're wearing right now, the mana is almost the same. Fire resist is almost the same. The cold resist is a bit higher on this one, but we're missing the lightning resistance. We gain life. We gain life though, on the other hand. So they're somewhat comparable in terms of implicit values. We would gain some energy shield, but we would lose the evasion rating on our vest. So I would say they're roughly the same. I think I would rather have the life than some additional lightning resistance. So that's why we will actually wear this from now on. And we will keep this in our stash. In case we go into an area again where we need lightning damage, we can just put this on. And it's not much of a difference, but for now, since there's life on this one, this is slightly better. And the last one is this one. First of all, it's required level 8, so it's a really low base. That's already bad. It's a small physical damage roll. The lightning resist is low. The life regeneration is low. The mana is okay. So again, it's low rolls, it's a low base, it's not a good item. We're just gonna vendor it. The other thing that I wanted to mention shortly here is we found another type of ring. It's called a 2-stone ring, and it gives 15% to cold and lightning resistance. So compared to what we've seen so far, we had ruby rings, and if we go to our stash, we can see sapphire rings as well, and the maximum implicit value on this one was 30. So we had a maximum of 30 resist of one particular resistance type, and here the maximum is actually 16, so we could get 32% resistances split between two. So this one is cold and lightning, and then there's two other rings that you can find. One is fire lightning, and the other one is cold fire. Makes sense. So we found this one. Probably not going to use it right now, but they're really beneficial and really good to use if you just need a couple more percentage to max out your resistances. So you can use this one, and you can increase your resistances on two different ones, cold and lightning in this case, for example. Alright, so I just wanted to show this ring. So what we're going to do next, let's get rid of all of this. If we look at the map, the last time we went to Chamber of Sins, so now we're going back to Blackwood, and we'll make our way here in this side area. So I went back to the Blackwood, and one thing that I wanted to show you guys is what curses look like and how you should try to apply them. As you can see, we have projectile weakness on W here right now, and the mana cost is relatively high. It's 26, and I have 85 mana that I kind of have to be a bit... Oh, that's actually nice. Okay, we got some currency here. So I have to be careful how I use it, because it's just 85 and I will run out of it really quickly. You can see, it's almost all gone already by using this curse twice. So you have to be careful how to use them at first, when you don't really have a lot of mana regen. I'm just looking for some monsters here, a couple more, so I can round them up. And then if you want to curse, you basically have to move your mouse cursor over them and try to get into the middle, of a bigger pack, so that you have all of them in a certain radius. And then you can do this, and then you basically see the curse on top of their heads. And if I put the curse on a monster, does it say it on here? Yeah, it lasts roughly 10 seconds. So you don't have the whole day to kill them or to deal damage to them once you curse them. If the curse runs out, you obviously can recast it, but again, just be a bit careful with your mana so you don't run out too fast. And here we actually found the Weaver's Chambers already. So this is the side area I was talking about, and we're going in. Now in this area, pretty much all the monsters are spiders, and the first type you will encounter are hatchlings. That's just tiny spiders, just hatched. Just really basic melee attacks, nothing special about them. Oh, strongbox, nice. And then we have some of them actually come down from the ceiling, which looks really cool. And those ones here we already encountered as well, just with a different name. They use Viper Strike again, so you can get some Viper stacks. Well, they're not really good at applying them apparently, so let's just kill them off. We've seen the Viper Strike before, so we don't really have to show that. And then there's one more type that I want to show you. Let's see if we can find him real quick. Those are the same that I showed you already. And the ones that I want to show you, they will actually highlight a skill that we were talking about before. Oh, here we go. Okay. Leaping spiders, and they use Flicker Strike. That's the one that I was talking about. That is, if you use them, yeah, you can use this skill on your character, and it will look pretty interesting because your screen will just flicker back and forth. And those guys basically teleport around using this skill. And they they teleport to your person, and when they arrive at at the location they teleport to, they attack as well. So they might deal some pretty significant damage with those attacks. So be a bit careful, especially I think it's mainly physical damage, so if you really don't have any armor, then they might hurt quite a bit. So since this is just a normal strongbox, we won't use any currency on it, and we'll just open it right away, and we get the 3 packs of monsters. There's actually some of them coming down from the ceiling again, and we can easily deal with them. Oh, there's one more over here. And we get an augment. Nice. It's Strongbox City in here. We found another one, and this one is actually rare. So again, if you find a strongbox, you want to just check the surroundings and make sure that you don't have any monsters just randomly coming in, because you will have these 3 packs to deal with anyway. Oh, okay. I should really get some more wisdom scrolls. Running out of them pretty quickly, so let's use one of. Oh, actually, we have one already. Okay, so we can use a whetstone.
What troubles you
Not sure if I
now?
showed that. I know that I showed you guys that you can sell an armor scrap, and you get 2. For this one, for a whetstone, you get 4. So that's even better. Let's just put this one in here, so we can put this right on here. Okay, and let's go back. Now, you definitely want to identify the unique ones. This one contains identified items. That's good, so we can save our wisdom scrolls. 3 additional rare items. That's actually really cool. So that might easily be an upgrade for one of our slots. Plus 5 chest level means that if you look at the monster level, this is 20. The items that drop from this chest can potentially be level 25. So that's what the plus chest level means. And it revives nearby dead monsters. So that means all of these will come back to life. Well, I don't really have to kill this because it will just come back to life. So let's just go here and open and yep, go quickly over here. This is still not really a dangerous one, simply because you know, there's no rare monsters, or I don't know, there's exiles, there's like a lot of scary shit that could be on these boxes, and this box is actually pretty tame. That's the last one. Let's kill it. Here we go. And we got some pretty nice loot. And since it's identified, we can actually see right away if it is an upgrade or not. So here we have pretty shitty one-hander. Life, mana. Well, the base is terrible. I mean, what we were using so far had a terrible base. The one that we found here is better, because it has life, it has higher life, and it has mana as well. The only problem is, again, I do want this green link, so I will probably not use this. I mean, even this one is better, because it has 73 armor and 73 evasion that we would get. So that's a lot more implicit stats than on the one that we're wearing right now. But this game, like, links are important. So that's why, even though this item is pretty shitty, I'll continue using it until we find, you know, some other item. Actually, what do we have on here? We have quite some damage on here, because those links are really nice. Yeah, I'll think about it. What you're looking for in this area is this here, the entrance to the Weaver's Nest. And this is where you will fight the boss of the area. And this is at the same time find Malagaro's Spike. This is basically where you'll find it, so it's a quest as well. So right now, you know, you haven't triggered the boss. Make sure that you're ready. Mainly it's about armor. I mean, I only have 3% damage reduction. At least have either relatively high evasion or high armor. That will make this fight quite a bit easier. This guy deals chaos damage as well, but since we're normal difficulty and we have 0 chaos resist, which is fine, we don't really have to worry about it. This gets more interesting once we get into higher difficulty levels. Alright, so this is on the map. You can see this is a big room, and once you go over here you will spawn the boss, and there's some magic monsters with him. So we'll go over here and you can see that he comes down, the Weaver, and the Weaver has this attack here, which is called EK, Ethereal Knives. We actually were talking about this before, and his Ethereal Knives deals chaos damage, so that's the chaos part. And the other thing that he or she does is constantly spawn ads, so you constantly get new spiders in here. So that's why you should have some sort of AoE to get rid of the spiders while dealing damage to the boss as well. At 50% health, as you might have noticed, he went up, into the ceiling basically, and then stays up there for a couple of seconds, and then comes back down. So there's not much more to this fight. Even after he's dead, there's still some of the spiders spawning, and here we have Maligar's Spike. That's the quest item, so definitely make sure to pick that up. And we actually got a rare 2-stone ring. Let's identify this straight away. Attack speed is actually really nice. Mana leech, some cold damage, and intelligence. That's not bad. We might use that at some point. A topaz ring as well. So from here, this is the end of the area. So once you reach this, you can just open a portal and go back to town. Back in town, let's have a quick look at the rare items that we picked up. And we can get rid of some of them. So this is a pretty terrible one-hander, as I said. There's some physical damage and some fire damage on it, but for the physical damage we would need the percentage physical on it as well, and the fire damage roll is really low, so there's basically no damage on this weapon. So we can definitely sell that. We actually get quite a few shards. And we will not use either of these. I'll just keep going with this one for now. It's not good, but I don't want to invest any currency in another item to get the green link, and those items are not big enough of an improvement to actually justify using currency, so we can just get rid of both of them. Okay, that's some more, and we will be using this ring instead of the fire resistance ring that we have here right now. If we compare them, we will be losing 5% fire resistance, but on the other hand we gain 15% lightning resist. We will lose the strength, we will gain int, we will lose life, but we will gain attack speed and some more damage, as well as mana leech. I'm not really happy about losing the life, but we gain 10 additional resistances and more damage, so I think it's a good trade-off. And the area that we're going in next is basically all three damage types, so fire, cold, and lightning. That's also why I kind of want to get more of resistances and just favoring that over life. So let's just put this in here. We also leveled up, so we can just put a point in dexterity. Let's check how much do we have? Intelligence and strength. I just want to make sure that we can consistently level our gems. Yeah, I think we should be fine. Okay, so let's put that here. And since you finish the quests, once you talk to Silk, you will get the choice of gems again. And this time we have Chance to Flee, which is a green support gem that causes monsters or has a chance that monsters flee once you hit them, which can be really good for some builds. It's not really that good with our build because, you know, we're easily kiting the monsters anyway. Pierce, also a support gem. I think the one that I explained before was Fork. Pierce basically means that projectile pierce a target or have a chance to pierce them, which means that if you hit the first target, then in this case at level 1 it has a 40% chance of piercing the first target, which means that any target that is behind the first target will be hit in 40% of the cases. So this is basically a form of AoE that you can add to your initial attack. Lesser multiple projectiles is a support that gives you 2 additional projectiles. It decreases your projectile damage overall, but you have 3 instead of 1. And as you level this gem, the decrease in projectile damage becomes lower and lower. So, you know, the negative part of this will decrease over time. And we will take this one because it works really well with our build. Melee Splash is more for melee attacks. I would say we're still more of a ranged attacker. Melee Splash means if you have an attack that is single target based, you could use this support gem and make this single target attack AoE. So as it says, single target melee attacks deal splash damage. So I don't know if you remember the ground slam that we saw or that we tested before, where you had this cone, this AoE cone. This is kind of the same, where you know you hit or you target a certain area and you deal AoE damage. I don't know if it's exactly cone shape, but just surrounding this area, but only in one direction. It's not like a 360 thing like you get, for example, with Ice Nova. Faster projectiles, we were talking about this before, is all about the projectile speed. Not really that interesting for us, and Fork again. And we already had this as well. So here we pick LMP. We'll just get rid of these exclamation marks. And now we can use LMP with our main attack. Okay, I actually linked Spectral Throw to added fire here. We will put it back in here. And we will get rid of added cold for now. Put in LMP. And I just want to show you guys real quick. We're just gonna go into the old fields here as a demonstration how this skill actually looks with LMP. It makes it quite a bit more potent. So now this is basically where the fun starts with this build. Alright, so let's just find a couple of mobs. Here we go. And now this is what it looks like. So you can basically just run around and your 3 projectiles will destroy pretty much everything. Fun. Just as a side note, as it said on the gem itself, on LMP, you do have less damage with it. So if I take this off, my Spectral Throw alone has 69 roughly. If I put it on, it's 48. So don't be alarmed by this quite significant drop, because now you have 3 projectiles instead of 1. So it's still worth it. What we should be looking for at this point is a 3-link with 2 green, so we can use Spectral Throw, LMP, and then the third one should be either green, because we have, where do we have it? Added cold? Yeah, so we could use green, green, green with added cold, or green, green, red with added fire. So that's something you should, at this point, be on the lookout for, and if you find it, so basically if this would be linked, this would be great. If you find something like this, even if it's white, if it's a good base, it might be worthwhile to transmute it and see if it turns out halfway decent, and if it does, then you can use it. In my case, I did pick up an item that had a green, green, red. It was a white item, so I used the transmute on it, and you know, it's not great, but I think it's good enough to actually use it right now. We will be losing the movement speed, which I said is pretty important, but at this point the increase in damage and clear speed that we get from this 3-link is, in my opinion, is worth more than this 10% movement speed. Also more than the rarity, because we will kill monsters so much quicker that we will obviously have more items drop, so that means we will also get you know, rare items quicker, so it kind of counters the rarity loss in a sense. So this is where we will put our Spectral Throw LMP, and we will take this added fire. And just to show you, okay, this was how it was before with the roughly 49, and if I put this one in, we're at 60. So percentage wise, it's a huge increase, and it will make a really big difference in terms of clear speed. Another thing, just as a side note, I found a ring with chaos resistance on it. This is the first one that we saw. Chaos resist will get more important in higher difficulty levels. For now, we're not going to use this ring, but what I wanted to show you is that items with chaos resistance on them will net you alchemy shards as well. So if you see them, you know, pick them up, sell them to the vendor, so you can get some more shards towards your next Orb of Alchemy. So the next thing we're going to do is we will go into the riverways again, and we will find the entrance to this area over here. There's 2 ways to doing it. You can go over here and enter riverways this way, and come from the right side basically, or you can take your waypoint to Blackwood and run back to riverways and try it this way. Because the entrance to this area is, well, it's sometimes closer to this side, sometimes to this side, so it's a bit of RNG. But I usually take the Blackwood waypoint and run back. But that's really up to you guys. In the riverways, you want to follow the road until you find this spot here with these 2 small pillars, and then you see this somewhat like a stone road, and if you follow this, it sometimes can take a while to follow it, and sometimes it even goes over a river, so sometimes you have to cross over one of the logs to get to this here. You see a tree root, and one of your quests is the root of the problem: poison the ancient tree. So at this point, this is where you need Maligaro's Spike and Baleful Gem, and with these 2 items, once you touch this, you basically poison it. The items are gone, so this is what they were for, and you can enter the Wall Ruins. In here we have a couple new monster types. Oh, this is actually probably the most dangerous in here. They're called Ancient Constructs, and they have a ranged attack that deals chaos damage. If I'm not mistaken, it actually, I'm kind of surprised that it deducted from my energy shield. So that's, let me regain my energy shield. I just want to see if I was actually right. Okay, let's see. They hit me. No, okay. They already deducted from my life. Yeah. So they deal, at least a portion is chaos damage. So that's why it goes directly to your life. Whoa, okay. That's a lot of them. Serpentine constructs we saw before. Um, not too much to talk about. They're just, they have melee attacks, that's basically it. And here, because we have a shrine, there's a lot of monsters around. And the Vol Fallen are the other mob type in here. I think we saw them in the corrupted zone that we went through. Bringer of Weakness, okay. So this is actually another invasion mod on a monster that we haven't seen before. Bringer of Weakness will... Is it vulnerability? On hit, it basically, it weakens you. I think it is some sort of curse that is applied to you. I'm not quite sure if it is vulnerability or maybe it's against, that you're weaker against elemental attacks. I'm not 100% sure about that. But basic, oh wait, here we go, enfeeble. Oh, okay. So, if you're hit by this monster, you have enfeeble on you for 10 seconds. You can see I get hit and the 10 seconds are reapplied. I get hit and 10 seconds again. So you basically deal less damage if this guy hits you. Alright, I'll go from here. There's a Tormented Martyr right over there. One thing that you should try to do is, before you activate them, which I might not... Oh, here we go. I'm not sure I can actually get around him without activating him, because once he sees you, there's basically only limited time until, you know, either you have to kill him and you get the loot, or that guy disappears and that's it. Oh, that might have been the case already. I hope not. Because if there's a rare monster around, try to draw that rare monster if it's not too dangerous already. If it's a really dangerous rare monster, you don't want the Tormented Spirit to possess it. But this one is really harmless. So I would like for it to be possessed, yeah. But that guy is already gone. Okay. So apparently he already saw me and I kind of activated his survival instincts and he fled. That's too bad. Because otherwise, this is like the best way to get the most loot out of it. Just having them possess a rare monster. And it's usually pretty easy to deal with them after that's done. In this level 1 of the Vol runes, there's a waypoint that you might encounter. If you do, obviously take it and you know, maybe get rid of some of your gear. And then try to find the stairs that will bring you to level 2. Just as a quick side note, the flask recipe that we were talking about before also works for magic items, or for magic flasks. So I have some unidentified large life flasks here. There's two things I want to show. So if you have, it doesn't matter if they're identified or not, if you have two magic ones and one normal or white one, you will only get a white one. It will be one level higher, you know, you will get the upgrade, but it will still be a white one. But instead of the white one, if you put 3 magic ones in, doesn't matter if they're identified or not, you will get one unidentified of the next tier. So in this case, Greater Life Flask. So we can accept this. That's actually another recipe. And then you can identify it and see if it's any good. In this case, it's not that great, but we don't have anything on our second flask, so we can just use it on this one. You know, it's better than having no mod on here. We found the entrance to level 2. And in level 2 you have Vol Arsonist, which are melee attackers with a fire attack. So the Vol Fallen that we were fighting before basically dealt all different kinds of elemental damage. Now we have in level 2 we have these ones dealing fire damage. And no, we don't need this scepter. I think those are actually the main ones in here. But you should... Okay, we have the wall constructs again. Yeah, you should make sure to have at least a bit of resistance of, you know, every type, just to make sure that you're safe. And we have some blue ones right here. And you can see how efficient our spectral throw is at this point. We can easily take all of them on. This should be a... Oh, okay, I thought it was a dead end, but this might actually be the way to go. Yes. So in this second level of the ruins, this is the area you're looking for. And here there's an ancient seal that's blocking your way, so you kind of have to touch the seal. And once you do, everything turns to shit. Find a way to lift the darkness. So you basically unleash the darkness on the world. Well done, well done. Now, I can already tell you that everybody back in town will be pissed at you. Because, you know, nothing bad happened before you came, and then everything went to shit. So now you kind of have to find a way to make amends and really get them out of this misery that you brought them in. Now, after you basically ruined the world by touching this thing, in the area that follows, you have to find the way out to the next area, and I'll come back once I find it. Okay, I found the exit. It's when you see some kind of stairway going up, that's where the exit is, and it will lead you to the wetlands. So in here what we want to do is we want to find the waypoint. You will have on one side just water, and to find the waypoint, the easiest way in here, you basically just go... Okay, we can talk about the monster types. You have Oaks Devoted, and they cost Warlord's Mark. We actually had this skill drop already, so that means they basically leech life and mana off of you. And what else? Warlord's Mark, I think it was about stun as well. So they basically use this this curse that we've seen before. Apart from that, they just have melee attacks, nothing special about them. We have some bears again with Enduring Cry and Cleave. We've seen those before. So, easy peasy. A lot of chests, and we have Roas again. So really nothing new. It's just a different mix of monsters in here, and that's all. So at some point you will encounter this, let's call it stream, and you want to follow this stream until it goes, you know, upwards a bit here. And right here you will always find the waypoint close to this upward slope. And here you will pick the waypoint, and you can see that this zone is level 23, and we still have to do some things in this zone and over here, and those zones are level 21. So at this point we will just get the waypoint, and we will go back to these zones and finish off what we left here, just to be efficient in terms of experience and level. In town, as I already told you, everybody is pissed at you. So they all want to talk to you and, you know, tell you what a douchebag you are, and that you have to solve the problem as quick as possible. So it's not just the one area that we were in that is pitch black. It's basically the whole world right now, and you kind of have to figure out what's going on. Um,
What?
One thing as well is that if we leveled again, so it does make sense to check the vendors. And I actually found the 3 link here that we're looking for on the vendor, and we can buy it for an orb of transmutation, which is always worth it. It's always different prices. I would not pay an orb of alteration because the uh, chromatic that we get out of it is roughly the same value as an alteration, so we don't really gain anything from it. I would probably not do it for 2 transmutations either, but if it's a transmutation or armor scrap, blacksmith whetstone, any of that, I would always make the trade. I think in terms of transmutation, this is roughly doubling your value, because I think 1 chromatic is at least worth 2 transmutation, maybe even more. So you definitely, just by doing this, which it doesn't really take any effort, you're already making money. The video is already over 40 minutes, so I wanted to cut it right here. And in the next episode, we will go over here and finish the unfinished business that we have in those areas. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and please give the video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to support me, and I'll see you guys for the next episode.